purposes, signing into other government branches and sites. We have the, what is it? MyGov service, or My Service, something, whatever it is, for doing your COVID visitation check-ins. So when you go to a business and sign yourself in to say you've been there. And also, again, for the vaccination certificate, which I have to present to work because I deal with customers and need to be proof that as a customer-facing role, I have to prove that I'm vaccinated. So I need the certificate. I can't get the certificate because my Medicare doesn't work.
Well, it's sort of similar. We have MyGov and MyGov ID. Now, the COVID thing, I don't know. You just scan it with your phone, wherever it goes from there. Have no clue.
Yeah, they did have that for contact tracing, but they've concealed that into the, well, not concealed, but they've combined it with the Service WA, I think it is, which again is supposed to be a nice centralised that you can, you know, if you go to a pub and they say, okay, where's your vax cert, you can bring it up on the Service WA app, and then you can check in with the Service WA app, and it's all convenient because it's one app, which is now the third account I've had to create for, you know, again, the different branches of hands not talking to each other. You'd almost think it's a Indian deity, the amount of hands that go on.
Yeah, I don't know how they deal with the passport either, the COVID passport they do. But mind you, I don't think anyone does because people are too busy trying to take the government to court at the moment.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. Interstate travel, you've got to get the good to go pass, which again is done through the centralised app, but I don't need to go interstate, so that's not a problem for me.
Yeah, we got a lot of people wanting to take the government to court because the whole setup with everything apparently goes against the Constitution, which it does. It actually goes against the Constitution, but I think our Constitution is just there for the sake of things, not for it to be taken really seriously, because even when you ring departments up to do with anything to do with the Constitution that they're supposed to protect, they spend most of your time trying to convince you not to do anything anyway. And then you get other things like judges making decisions on the Constitution which they don't actually have the authority to do, but do it anyway, and then the government just puts out a law that goes against the Constitution, which they can't do because it's the foundation of law, and they do it anyway. And because we're good old New Zealanders, what are we great at? Complaining and then doing nothing. And they damn well know it. So they get away with a lot, but I think even there, I don't think our Constitution is just, you know, what a Constitution should be. Because technically, you got restrictions, like there's people who lost their jobs because they haven't got a vaccination. And the Constitution gives them the right to be able to do that. But when you do that, you've been punished for your right, exercising your right.
Yeah, the refusal to vaccinate is a hazard to other people in the public. And you can either act for the greater good or go screw off.
Yeah, but that's true. But the thing is, the Constitution says you're allowed to do that, and you're allowed to make that decision without any punishment, and that's a punishment. Losing your job and everything, it's a right to life, which is in the Constitution. Even though they have to change the Constitution before they can make that law and say, yeah, outright it's the Constitution. No law can go against the Constitution, which is what they've done.
If a private company decides you either vaccinate or you go,
they can't do that.
Then what will... Yeah, sure they can. It's a private company.
No, they can't.
Property.
Because
they can do on their fucking property. They can do whatever they please.
No, they can't. They got to work within the law. Even though it's private property, you still got to work within the law, and that's the foundation of law. They can't do that. Even if it's your private property, you can't do that. And if it's a business, you actually got access to the public, so they don't have like a private house. They don't even have the same, protected by the same laws as a private property, a private house. If it's a business, if it has access to the public, comes under a different law, under different protections. So, but at the end of the day, the whole point of the Constitution is that it's a law that everyone's got to work in, and you can't, just because you have a private property doesn't make you exempt from the law. So they can't do it. Even though they do, they can't legally do it. But what you just said is the opinion of everyone.
Then your constitution is infringing on way too many rights, because the constitution is supposed to protect you from the government, not from private entities.
No, because it's not our constitution. Not all constitutions work the same way. Our constitution is supposed to protect the rights of people, yes. And it's supposed to protect you from the government and from other things, because we've got the constitution's got different bills in it, which is you've got the Human Rights Act, and then you've got the Bill of Rights Act and all that kind of stuff. And in the constitution itself, like I said, the first and foremost is any law. You can lose if you break a law, you can lose access to some of the constitution, as long as it doesn't put you in a position to the loss of life or living with life, which includes like basic things. Well, how do I explain that? Well, you know, certain things that will come with the expected part of life, which is access to education and healthcare and all that kind of stuff. And also loss of dignity, which comes down to a person's feeling, which they've got to account for. They can't just say, oh, you know, we decide whether or not you lose your dignity. It should be up to the person, because that's what it's about, protecting the individual and protecting the community as a whole. So you've got to find that where...
When your individual choice puts other people in danger, then you can go bite me.
Yeah,
just
fair.
It.
Yeah, I get that, but the thing is, as it comes down to the law, you can be prosecuted for it. So if your personal choice affects other people, but a constitution allows you to make that choice as an individual, then you find if there's an issue, then they need to change the constitution.
Yeah, then the constitution needs to be amended, that's true.
Yeah, but there's only one person that can instigate that in this country, and that's the Governor General.
Governor General is doing a bad job.
Well, not really, because yeah, no, it hasn't come up. So, but I mean, the thing is, it's alright, and people, yeah. Oh well, I don't know. The thing at the moment is people losing their jobs because they have for choosing the right that they're allowed to have. So, and that's the issue at the moment. Whether or not it's a good thing or a right thing, that's not really the problem or a thing. Because at the moment, the reality is it's a choice they're allowed to have, and they've been punished for making a choice that the Constitution allows them to have. And they're losing life, you know, and dignity for it, people losing their jobs and all that kind of stuff and everything else, which they were quite entitled to do. And losing all that for making the decision which they're legally allowed to do, then that's the reason why people are taking it, because, yeah. And something like that is pretty hard, because there's always going to be something like that comes along, like COVID and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to get to the point where you look at that, but you're going to take away a lot of people's freedoms as well, and it's always a grey area, you know. It's really hard. I mean, technically, the best thing to have done with the COVID for the whole world was no one go anywhere until there's no COVID left. But the problem with that decision is everyone's worried about losing money. So instead, people are allowed to go somewhere, we'll wait and we don't get rid of it all, and we go out and then allow people in before it's all gone from overseas and all that kind of stuff. And then it gets contracted again and is able to adapt itself and all that kind of stuff. But still, we're still making money, don't worry about it, you know. And then you're prolonging that thing, because then you've got to have people that end up getting to the point where we've got to have a lockdown again, and people, and it's just stretched out too long, which probably ends up causing more damage economically in the long run than doing it, you know. I mean, we got rid of it in what, a month and a half here, the first time round. If the whole world did that in a month and...
That's what politicians messed up so bad. They waited too long to appease the big companies.
Well, not only that, workers as well.
Make money, and they waited too long to push the lockdown button.
Yeah, but I mean, waited too long. But once they pushed the lockdown button, yeah, it should have been a worldwide agreement, I reckon, and for the long run, or stuff like that. And you could have got rid of it ages ago if you did that, but people didn't because they were trying to please it. They were more worried about the money than saying, okay, we get rid of this, people lose money, everything else like that. That's the way it goes. But we get rid of it in 3 months out of the world, then everyone can get back into work and rebuild. Less lives are lost like that, and the problem is solved. Which is not what they're worried about. They're more worried about their economy.
But that's capitalism, yeah. Screw people. It rains the almighty dollar.
Yeah, it is. It's all right. Anyway, it is what it is, isn't it? And we got the power to change it, but we don't, because the majority of us, it suits most of us for the most part. And if it ain't bothering you, why bother it?
Ain't bother it.
But the upshot is, I'm still not sure about the vaccine. I did actually decide to get it, and I tried to ring my doctors, and I couldn't get through. So.
Yeah, getting an appointment's got at least...
I got it as soon as I could.
I thought I was snapped. Oh, I haven't missed any, that was alright. Yeah, everyone else seems to have it. Well, actually, where I live is the lowest percentage of people that have got it.
Yeah, well, to be honest, New Zealand got lucky on COVID terms because you shut down the borders quick and fast. And
first time
early.
round. Yeah, first time round, but we've still got a lot of cases at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, not compared to the rest of the world, we're in the hundreds. But compared to the rest of the world, that's nothing. And most of that's all in Auckland, but it's spread out a little bit. And the reason is because they brought in the traffic light system, and people who had COVID was allowed to get out of Auckland because it came down to the lockdown was just right. COVID's in the area, lock everything down. So the second time round it was Auckland. Auckland got COVID, they locked Auckland down. And then people started whinging and moaning about it because the art of sacrifice is also another human trait that's sort of gone in first world countries. And so they brought out the traffic light system, which was totally different. It was based on how many people have been vaccinated. So they had a green, obviously you can go everywhere. If you're in this area, you can go wherever you like, vaccinated or not. If you're amber, which we call orange, because our traffic light, it is orange, it's not amber, then there's certain restrictions. And then you got the red, which you got a lot of restrictions, can't go anywhere. And we had no cases here whatsoever. But because we had a very low amount of vaccinations, we got put into the red zone. Auckland, because they had high vaccination rate, got into the green zone. But the funny thing is yes, you're vaccinated, but that doesn't stop the spread of it, doesn't stop you getting it. But yet you're going to let the place that has the highest amount of COVID people with COVID, be able to roam around the country. And that's the reason why it's spread.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a hot topic for my state over the last year. We get some people from the northeast and the west of Australia. I think it was Clive Palmer, mining magnate or something like that. He's like, yeah, Western Australian premiers holding whole state hostage. I'm like, no, we're hiding under a rock and it's doing quite well for us, you know. Well, apart from the recent couple of cases we've had where we've had to bring the mask rules back, yay. And next month when we're going to apparently open up the borders to vaccinated folk, which, you know, as you're saying, they can still be carriers, so yay, that's going to make things fun. But for the most part over the last year, we've, had 2, 3 or 4 day lockdowns and that was it. So for the rest of us, it's all business as usual.
Anyway, should we move on? The Twitch should be a place where we can get away from that real life stuff and enjoy ourselves, away from it all, forget about it, pretend it ain't happening. Sort of like I do every day anyway. Even when I'm not doing this. Ignorance is bliss. This is going to be interesting how this pans out. I'm hoping when I take that other bale that finishes the contract off for both of these, even though I'm expecting there'll be quite a bit of the bale left over not taken by that place, but what I'll do is I'll end up moving, if a contract finishes, I'll end up taking it to the other place so I can sell the bales at. And get my money, honey. Hopefully good amount. I thought I put you in reverse. Oh, another sad news. And I hope it's a lie. I hope it's a nasty rumour going around. One of my favourite TV shows. I've already had one finish this year after six seasons, which is fair enough. That was expected. Another one, The Expanse, after 6 episodes, apparently ended. Well, it looked like it ended the way it finished. I don't know if there's more episodes. I'll find out later on this week. But apparently this is the last season, which makes no sense. It could make sense if there's more episodes, but the way they ended the last one, there was like things happening. But yeah, I don't know. I've got to do the research, but I was quite disappointed when I found that out because I got my sister hooked on it big time. I hooked her on it on Christmas Day, and she started watching from season 1 on Christmas Day, and yeah, as of last week, she's all caught up to the last episode. That's how bad I hooked her onto it. 6 seasons like that.
It's really harsh.
So I don't know if it's.
Dude.
It might be because it's based off books, so I don't know if they've caught up with how many books, like sort of like Game of Thrones, but decided to do. They saw what happened with Game of Thrones when it went past the books, and they had other people write it in the ending that they decided, no, we won't do that. We'll keep true. But then again, mind you, they did do a good job because they had to. One of the characters in the book, they had to kill him off in the TV series. And they did a good job to adapting another character that was from the book, but I don't think, I'm guessing was just in the book for a little bit, wasn't the main character, and brought that person back as a main character, which is good because she was a good character. They did a good job on that, but I suppose what they did was, well actually no, they didn't bring it back and replace the other character because he was a pilot. She didn't become a pilot, so yeah, maybe, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but still disappointing if it is, so. Very sad if there isn't, this is the last season. For me, probably no one else on here has watched it. You guys probably don't even watch it, The Expanse.
I watched the first season.
Yeah, I remember you saying
And then I
that.
stopped.
Watched the first season and it just got better and better. You haven't watched the better ones. Oh, 3rd season I think was a bit slow, but still alright. But yeah, the rest of them, awesome. Really, really good.
Nah, at the time I had too many series I was watching, so I had to cut out. I mean, I stopped watching Supernatural after 12 seasons, so...
Well, that's sacrilege. In my book. You only had another, what, 10 to go? 10 seasons?
Yeah, no.
That was an alright ending, I suppose. I mean, to be honest, any bad endings will look alright compared to the way Game of Thrones ended.
Still there.
What I really want is a spin-off series with, what's her name? Arya Stark.
Travels to the west.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Out of all of them,
awesome.
that's the only one. I know there's great characters and stuff, I'll give you that. But I think out of all of them, I think that's the only one, if there was spin-offs, that would be the only one I'd watch. Her character was the best as far as I'm concerned. I left a racing stripe in the middle of the field.
What? 'Cause 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 'c
Make some grow faster stripes.
Just creating a landing site for the Colombians.
Gotta get that sweet, sweet fertilizer.
Perfect for them being the cotton all in white. Just in case one of their bags broke open, won't show up so easily. Escobar, just transfer the money into my bank. That's one reason I'd like to go to Colombia. Is because of not that it probably would matter and pretty impossible to find, but because Pablo Escobar, there's still so much of his money not found because he buried it all over the country. He had so much money, he had to bury it, and it was buried all over the country, and there's so much of it missing. But I don't know, if you found it, what you do, because it's all in US dollars, but it'll be very, very old dollars. I don't know what they would do. I suppose anyone in the US would know the answer to that. What happens with old money? If you turn it up in the bank, what would they do?
But still, as long as it's not too defaced.
I mean, I wonder how much there would be, because he was just making so much money per year. He was at one point the richest person in the world, wasn't he? Unofficially, obviously, because he couldn't declare it all. But that's what they reckon. He was making so much money, he was pretty much the richest person in the world. Right, what are we? It's 12:15. Have I shot myself in the foot here with this contract? Okay. I like the look of my bank balance, though.
What is it?
Currently 78,000. And when I pay off the loan, I always make sure I've got about 40,000 or close to $40,000 left. So I've almost got 40,000 to put on my loan, which will take me into the $100,000 mark. Which means hopefully in a couple of streams I can start saving up for a plot of land.
Yeah, I am below 200k now as well. Made 23,000 of the overhang from the sugar beets, which is nice.
Yeah, so do I, Dave, but it all depends on whether or not I can get a farm before all the fields are bought up, which at the moment doesn't look likely. All the land is bought.
Well, since all of us still have a loan out, except for Patrio maybe.
I still got 30k.
And Patrio still has basically no equipment, so he has to buy everything.
Yeah, because he's got, even though you've got your greenhouses there, which I'm looking at, you've still got a bit of field you could put something down to make some extra cash on, but you don't have the equipment, do you? That's the only thing.
Well, I had plans on what to do with the field, but it's a matter of getting the finances together because the greenhouse is next to nothing for passive income anyway.
Yeah, well, since the update.
No, even before the update, it was still only like 10k a year. So it's still like a pittance. I mean, you get enough of them, it starts adding up, but yeah. Now, the point I was going to make was, according to the finance screen for July through to September, I have paid no interest on loans nor received any income from my passive income sources. So my farm was basically on pause in my absence.
Yeah, I just want to remind people, in case you forgot, when you get your farms, you can't get any of those oh no, I'll take that back. Never mind, I just realised. I take that back because I already made a decision on that one and I almost went against my decision. How many more rows have I got on this field? This is a doozy.
Yeah, I just spent 60 grand on an upgrade in my cultivator.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No, there is one thing I want, but I'll have to wait until next year because there's no point having it now. It'll just be dead money. But, saying that, if it happens to be on special and I've got the money now, get it while the getting's good. It's not. There we go. It was a great thought, which I'm going to forget about next time we do this on Sunday. I think I've got 2 more rows to go. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get a full bale before the end of it, I think. I'm definitely, no matter what, I think I'm definitely going to get a full bale because I'm at 88%, 17,000 litres of, almost 18,000 litres of 20,000. Surely in these 2 rows I'll get it. Actually, what's the state? I don't think this field's fertilised at all. Which would seem weird considering all the blooming work and stuff we get. We'd surely fertilise this field. Needs rolling, that's nice, let's get rid of that. No, it's not a single fertilised state on this field. All the money I'm missing out on. Why? Actually,
of course it is fertilised, JJ. The harvested part isn't fertilised, the other stuff is dark blue. Remove the stones and you'll see.
Stones. Stone. Weeds. Nah. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, fair enough. Oh, it's fully fertilised. Oh, I'm not getting much off this. Seems a bit of a disappointment, actually. I'm not getting much cotton off this field. You know, me being the cotton expert and all.
There you are.
At 97%. So it's going to be a very, very, very small amount of cotton left over. But I might actually take that other contract.
Other contract?
If it's still there, that is the other baling contract. I've just got to think how I'm going to approach it though, because I need this one to be completed and then I can scrap this one, because I still got to keep the one that the cotton harvester belongs to. Then I need to grab the other one, and that's definitely pushing my luck as far as how much the spinner can take. I just had a little bit of a thought though. I'm just thinking back to the cotton contracts I did on my solo play. And I'm just gonna How am I going to approach this? And trying to be sneaky about it too is a little advantage to me in this competition. So I can't say it out loud, which is a problem for me, because if I've got a problem I need to say it out loud.
Well, I promise not to listen. You can just say it out loud, dude.
Sorry, what was that? I got distracted by the train. What were we talking about?
You wanted to lay out and detail the plan you're having.
Ah, right. Okay, yeah. Do you know what it was?
Well, you'll have to deliver it to the spinnery and then sell the rest.
Ah, right. No, I literally got distracted by the thing and I've forgotten what my whole thought process was. I'm trying to remember it now. Just getting the other contract, wouldn't it? Must be humid if that happened. It's something that happens to me when it's humid. But it doesn't feel humid. It's hot. Well, I jump my seat, so I don't know. I could be sweating like anything at the moment and soaked. For some reason, oh, I am. I just leaned forward and felt the back of my shirt. Oh my goodness me! I know what I'll be doing straight after the stream.
Taking a shower, I'm guessing.
Is there a limit to the part bales before it will allow you to unload the part bale? Does it have to be a certain size?
No, I don't think so.
It just happens to look the same size when you unload it.
Yeah, they all look the same size.
Oh, yeah. I will do that other contract. If it's still there, because it's a decent... Oh, of course it's still there, because otherwise you guys would have to use the... Oh, okay, it's not there.
There were
Someone
two cotton
take...
contracts. One with a case, one with a JG. Guess who took both?
Oh, really? Was there another one with a case? I thought there was only one more.
I didn't take any.
Oh, well, I suppose...
Might have plopped up over the course of the day. You never know.
Yeah, possibly. Alright, well, I suppose that saves me trying to think. There's a bonus there. Now I don't have to worry about it. The other good thing is I'm done with the cotton. The slowpoke cotton contracts.
I'm doing cultivating for 57. Right,
What size?
Smudo is doing his cotton thing on 72. Up by the railway line.
Yeah, you're cultivating my sugar beet field, bud.
Oh well, I can click both the contracts in as well. Or,
Don't forget to deliver the cotton modules first, bud.
Yeah, I know. I knew that. I'm actually going to drive this one over to the spinnery and see if the little 2,000 litres will be enough to finish both contracts off. Because I think it said I'd done 85% of this one, this field already. Possibly, I don't know. Let's have a look. 86%. I wonder if I send it off on its own, it'll be able to get there and won't get stuck on anything. That's one way to find out. Productions, grain mill. Sale points, is the spinnery on this?
Yep.
Why?
Put it on the map center.
No, I'm talking about auto drive. Which does, why wouldn't you have it on this? It's ridiculous.